Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Captain Fizz and Mask Guy show. I am Captain Fizz.
And once again, I am that mask guy, and greetings from the 7th moon of thunder, everybody. And this is the first time we've ever actually attempted to video record our podcast, which is kind of cool, I guess.
I think this is the reason why we haven't.
So joining us today, of course, is our good friend, Big Mike. And on the other side of the captain here, we got our friend, Sweet Daddy D, better known to the universe as Derek Inman.
Hey, whoa. We don't use names here. It's Inman Derek.
Inman Derek, okay. God, I apologize.
I don't. All right,
you don't?
No.
You don't?
We've had a very exciting night.
Well, I don't know.
I have.
This is coming off the end of probably one of...
The most disappointing Summerslam ever, I'd say so.
I know, it's... Okay, for those people who aren't aware, tonight was Summerslam. And, yeah, you know what? I don't know.
I didn't feel very slammed, and I don't feel like summer.
Well, considering that it is like...
right outside and it's colder than hell.
Exactly.
Yeah,
No.
well...
It stopped recording.
Whatever. Carry on.
Okay, yeah, you know what? We won't worry about them. Honestly, I guess our little video experiment has failed.
There's not enough storage.
Look who's
There
working,
was
look
not
who's
enough
working
storage.
the camera.
Oh, well.
Well, there's not enough junk in the trunk. Or too much junk in the trunk.
So, you know what? Oh, well, we'll just continue on with the video.
Good.
And
I can look like an idiot now. Woo!
It doesn't take much.
It's okay.
So the very first match was Randy Orton versus Sheamus. I'm tired of talking, so whatever your name is, Sweet Daddy D.
Sweet Daddy D will go with.
What do you want to know?
What's your opinion?
For which? My opinion?
Yeah, well, we know
I got an opinion.
Okay.
I don't know what opinion.
So on the opening
Sheamus
match,
won.
Sheamus
won.
versus Randy Orton in the opening matchup.
Can't take pictures.
I thought it could have gone a little bit longer.
I
Honestly,
agree.
I don't know.
I
It's,
think it could have gone about 2 minutes longer.
in 2 minutes would have made a big difference?
Yes.
2 minutes always makes a big difference.
Ask your wife.
Yeah, I would think so.
What about Mike?
Well, yeah, I personally would have to agree. I mean, it could have lasted a little more than another extra 2 minutes or whatnot, or an extra half hour maybe.
A half-hour match. I'd pay to see that. You and I could go half-hour, Sweet Daddy D.
I think so too, but for half an hour match, that takes a lot of what's the word I'm looking for?
Stamina?
Yes. a lot of stamina, and it also takes a lot of you'd have to have a lot of energy in the tank to do something like that.
Yes,
and
yes.
a lot of these guys nowadays don't have it.
No, they're getting old. The Mask. What's your opinion on this subject?
Honestly, I don't know. I'm not so surprised that Sheamus won the matchup. I was honestly,
I'm
I
not
thought.
surprised either.
Well, the thing is, last month we saw Randy Orton beat Sheamus, so it made sense for Sheamus to get the victory on this one. And he is the holder of the Money in the Bank briefcase, so it does make sense.
Yeah,
True.
I agree. So
Like I said, the match could have gone a little bit longer, even if it was like 2 to 5 minutes. It gives more of an entertaining match when it goes longer, and it shows that these guys can stand their own.
yeah, no, I definitely agree. I don't think there's really much more we can say on that. It was a pretty kind of self-explanatory match. Yeah, also, the next match, I don't think we're going to spend much time on. You know, it was a tag team match between the primetime players.
I'll make no comment on that one. I have nothing to say about that tag team.
Yeah.
I don't care too much for the tag team division, what it used to be.
No, and I agree. Lucha Dragons, New Day sucks, and the Matadors. There really wasn't much to say about it. You know, New Day, once again, for some odd, forsaken reason, wins.
But here's the thing: what you don't understand is
I don't want to understand.
Okay, but
Well,
when you watch guys like primetime players, you have your strength and you have your high flyer. You get the luchadors who are high flyers and speed. You get your New Day, which are supposed to be a bunch of happy guys that do nothing but bounce around and do absolutely nothing. If you're going to have 4 tag teams in there that are all high flyers And speedsters show it instead of being flunked.
I agree. We've all come across the old tag teams of the day.
Yeah.
A lot different than today's.
Yeah.
Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy, a lot of the other ones.
The Rockers were a prime example. Those guys were
Oh,
high
yeah, the
flyers.
Rockers were.
They were high flyers and they were speedsters. And they showed it day in and day out, match after match.
Yeah.
Now you got these 4 guys in the ring tonight, and not one could keep up with the high flying and the speed.
Oh, absolutely not. And unfortunately, that's pretty much the way we've gone. It's all about solo now.
Yeah.
We've lost the whole tag team. Although the female division, the tag team has gotten a lot better. As compared to a lot when we
Well,
were
the
growing
boom's
up.
gotten smaller, but the ass has gotten a little bit bigger, which is nice too.
Yeah, they're still slightly smaller than yours.
Which is okay, because I'm not a female, so I shouldn't have one.
That remains to be seen. The mask?
It's on yours, dude.
Well, okay, going back to this, statistically, the tag team titles have changed hands twice every month, every 2 months. And so it's not a surprise. And here's the thing, you guys are crabbing out about New Day. And yeah, here is you two jerks going off and laughing your heads off here. Because yes, I'm using words like statistically.
There's reasons why we're laughing. Well, if you're paying attention, we passed the tag team division.
How did we?
Sorry, we're
when
having
did
some-
we pass
I
the tag team?
We're with the
Hello.
women's division now,
Well-
so I don't know what you're going off talking
Oh, who
about. Tag
cares?
team title.
Well,
We're
here's
all
the
about
thing.
the women.
I apologize. I'm actually trying to figure out some of the technical difficulties as we're going along. This is kind of, and it's going to be an interesting episode because they're, kind of playing more by ear than we normally do. Cause
You know what? Hey, our best shows are playing by ear because honestly, I hate going by book. Because I kind of suck that way. So, anyways,
No comment.
you know all about that. So the next one,
I'm sure I do.
Mike. Actually, I don't think we got an opinion from you.
Well, you know what? I'm not surprised that New Day won the tag team titles again, unfortunately.
We were past it. We're talking about women now.
We're still on New Day. New Day
Well, no,
sucks.
because you moved on to the women's division.
I skipped like 4 matches then.
Yeah, you skipped a lot of matches actually.
No, I was just making a point that the females have gotten better than the men's tag team.
There's no argument there, honestly, especially since they brought Charlotte, Becky
Paige.
Lynch, and Sasha
Paige.
Banks up to the main roster from NXT.
You forgot Paige.
Well,
Well, Paige has been
I don't
around for
care.
like about a year and a half now.
I don't care. Paige. It's all Paige.
well,
Paige.
Then you know what?
and
I
more
can
Paige.
say AJ.
He has the hots
I
for
agree.
Paige.
Then we
How can, no,
No,
you
no.
can't say AJ because AJ hasn't even been in the company for like 6 months.
Paige has the hots for me.
She was still there.
Yeah, 6
And
months ago she
and-
was.
And she made the women's division.
Oh, absolutely. There's no doubt
I
about
miss
AJ. Had,
too. I'll
AJ
admit.
was honestly the best women's wrestler the WWE had
In 3
probably in
years.
about a decade, anyways.
It's not that
Probably
long.
since Trish Stratus retired.
All right.
Stratus and who was the other one? That was Lita. Was another
Lita.
one.
Lita, yeah, those two definitely. I mean, there's, ever since they started doing this supermodel thing where they
Yeah.
brought supermodels. I mean, that's how the Bellas started. I mean,
I'm not going to complain with the supermodels.
but you know what? It's nice to actually
just
have
say
some
that
very, you should be glad that this is on film anymore because then people would see the threatening gestures you give me.
You know what? I will give you a threatening gesture right now. So, okay.
Well, as I was saying, it's the division is one off and has improved, especially since these 3 have come in, and they seem to have actually made the other women's.
To step up more.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
start
I
using
mean,
more talent than they usually would.
well, I mean, the sad thing is that this is only 9 women, and there's like another 6 or 7 women in the division that are being completely pushed off to the side because of these women. And some of them are really talented.
Then I will go-
Natalia is, one of those wrestlers who's extremely talented.
Then I will go start up a second women's league.
A second women's
Yeah,
league.
I will start up the second women's league.
Are you gonna come out in panties and a bra? Or are you gonna come out in a dress?
No, it'll be in yogurt. So we're going to move on to the third match of the day.
I prefer the mudslides.
I got nothing.
You got nothing to say to that?
Rusev versus Dolph Ziggler. Rusev,
Rusev.
I don't care.
Zeus.
Does it really matter, actually?
No, it doesn't. It ended in no contest.
Yeah, exactly. Dolph Ziggler versus Rusev.
And that was a waste of a match, too.
It was, and I don't really.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. I guess they're moving towards a mixed tag match between these four.
I think so, too.
But I mean, for it to have like a non-finish at SummerSlam, which is arguably their second biggest event of the year, just seems like a really stupid thing to do.
It was.
I mean, even if you had like Dolph Ziggler beat him by count out,
Okay,
it would have been good.
But how much training or how much wrestling ability does Lana?
Lana's actually she actually wrestled before she even came to WWE, so she does know how to
So she
wrestle.
does have some wrestling
She
ability.
does have some wrestling
But from what
ability.
you see now, she doesn't have a whole lot of anything.
Oh, right now,
She has a whole lot of assets.
But they're padded.
Yes.
If you look at Lana's ass, you can tell it's padded. And I'm not talking muscle. But then you have... if you look at her in the ring, just from her character, she doesn't have a whole lot of wrestling ability. But
it's because she hasn't been allowed to show.
That's what I mean. So if you're gonna have her step in the ring against Summer Rae, who has wrestling experience per se behind cameras,
Per se, yeah.
then I would say if you're gonna do it, then make sure you let her do all four outright her ability and not sit there and hide any of what she can do.
Well, I think that's where we're going to eventually lead. I could actually see leading up to Night of Champions, we might actually see Lana having a couple matches against wrestler women like Cameron and maybe Natalia, just to show what she actually can do in the ring. The women that
But do you
aren't-
honestly think they'd put up against Natalia, who's one of the best technical
Yes.
female wrestlers?
yeah. Have you seen the way they've treated her? They go
Well,
off and
they've
she
dumped
has
on her
to.
head lately, but other than that,
She jobs out to pretty much every woman, despite the fact that she could out wrestle every single one of them.
that's what I mean.
So I mean, I could completely see her going off and losing to someone.
Big Mike?
My mom
Yeah,
was
that
famous.
match was a little bit of a disappointment. One of them could have won.
One of them should have won, and it wasn't Ziggler.
No, and I totally agree. And it should have been Ziggler, but again, look at the size of Rusev, and that guy can wrestle, and that guy can move. And,
Yeah, he can
that's
move
why
for
I
a
said
big
he
man.
shouldn't have been.
and he's got strength, so I don't see why they even waste the speed that Ziggler has on something like that to have it end in a drop.
You know what? Honestly, considering how great Rusev is and how great Dolph Ziggler is, it would have been nice for these guys to have had a more competitive matchup because these two could have completely stolen the show. I mean, we know how good Rusev is, especially with the matches he had against John Cena earlier this year.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we've pretty much tapped that one out.
Well, we
There's
could
not
go
much-
further, but let's move
No,
on.
we're not going to talk more about that.
let's
That's
move
a
on.
disgrace.
Very much true, my man.
So Neville and Stephen Amell versus
Stardust.
Starqueer and King Barrett.
Stardust, yeah.
Starqueer. I'm sorry, I'm not going to even warrant
But
his
you know,
name.
I gotta say is that I like Stardust. I like what he's become. I prefer it a lot better than what he was as Cody Rhodes. I think he's come out more for talent wise and for. What do you want here? What's going on?
Louder.
Yeah, you
How's this? Would you like this?
Sorry, man, you really do. Our mic isn't very sensitive, so you really have to bring it up a little bit.
Okay, is this loud enough?
Yes,
Okay.
this
Yeah.
is loud enough.
All right.
You know all about bringing it up.
Oh, he sure does.
All right, but anyhow, again, I'm not a big fan of Neville, and I don't care for actors stepping into the ring where they have no business being. So therefore, I would give that one to Barrett and Stardust off the top.
Yeah.
While I completely agree with you in that assessment, the whole reason why Stephen Amell was on the show was to help get ratings and help get publicity.
Yes, I
and so
understand.
they had to win. But the thing is, it was better that Neville won than Stephen Amell because honestly, that would have been a disgrace if Stephen Amell had actually got the pinfall victory. And so they did it the right way with Neville winning it. You may not like Neville. I happen to like Neville. Neville is a really good